What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast, here from the lockdown. This episode is brought to you by ButcherBox. I mean, look, is there a better time to be talking about mail order meat? Meat that comes to your door, frozen and ready to go, either in your freezer or thawed out and ready to go on your grill. Not everyone has convenient access to high-quality meat, but ButcherBox does. You got grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, heritage breed pork or wild-caught salmon. Man, you got all of it, and it comes to your door. Here, I've gotten some ButcherBox over the last month. Here are the things I've done. I got the sirloin steak, which I put on the plancha grill I've got, and I made Benihana, straight-up Benihana hibachi. It was delicious. I then took the chicken breasts, I pounded them down, and I did a chicken piccata with the lemon, the capers, and the white wine. That was delicious. I didn't do all these on the same night, by the way. I then took the ground beef, and I turned it into my famous Tuscan ragu, and you can see that on my Instagram. There's pictures and the recipe for that. But it's a no-brainer, folks. It's the best meat. It's shipped right to my door. Less trip to the grocers. You really don't want to be going there if you don't have to right now. It's options like 100% grass-fed and finished beef, free-range organic chicken, heritage pork, wild-caught Alaskan salmon, and sugar and nitrate-free bacon. It's the way meat should be. ButcherBox is the most affordable and convenient way to get healthy, humanely raised meat. And with ButcherBox, you get the highest quality meat around for just $6 a meal. It is great. Right now, ButcherBox is offering new members ground beef for life, folks. That's 2 pounds of ground beef in every box for the life of your subscription, plus $20 off the first box. Go to butcherbox.com/tire, T-I-R-E. That's butcherbox.com/tire, or enter promo code TIRE at checkout. Butcherbox.com/tire, or enter promo code TIRE at checkout. $20 off your first box and ground beef for life. There is no better time to get mail order meats than right now. We're also brought to you by Omaze. They jumped over from the video to the podcast side, and here is why, folks. I worked with Omaze to hook up a really cool prize that you can win. Here's how this works. Omaze is offering you the chance to win an epic road trip on Adventure Drives 2020 in July through the Pacific Northwest in a 2020 Corvette C8. Taxes, shipping, any are included. That's all included. You don't pay anything. Even better, every donation, it benefits a great cause. You go to omaze.com/thesmokingtire, and that's O-M-A-Z-E. Omaze, like amaze, but Omaze, and you enter for your chance to win. So here's what it is. Adventure Drives is Rob Ferretti's road rally, okay? What I love about Adventure Drives, no stickers on the car, 5-star hotels, great dining, and it's not a race or even a wannabe race or anything like that. It's a beautiful thing. It's the kind of thing you want to bring your wife or your girlfriend or do with a friend. It's more about what happens in your own car. And so you and a friend can go on this trip. And here's the thing. I'm going on this trip that you can win. I'm going to be there. So you're not going to go on a road trip in my car. I'm going to be in a Lamborghini, but you're going to go with your homie or your wife or your husband in a 2020 Corvette C8. It's going to be going from Seattle up into Canada to Vancouver, through Whistler, through Banff National Park in Canada, which is one of the most beautiful places in the world to drive a car, down back into America, into Glacier National Park, and ending in Jackson Hole. I mean, this is going to be the sickest way to experience the C8, the sickest way to have a road trip with some really good folks, and me. I'm going with my wife. You're going to get to hang out with me and Hannah on this one. So, for your chance to go win an epic road trip with me through the Pacific Northwest on Adventure Drives in a 2020 Corvette C8, go to omaze.com/thesmokingtire and enter now. And the best part is every donation supports Team Rubicon. Look them up. It's a great cause. I love Team Rubicon. I think it's a great charity. And so omaze.com/thesmokingtire, and you could win a road trip with me. Last but not least, if you're in LA and you've got a car and nowhere to keep it, hit me up. Westside Collector Car Storage is here for you. It's my place, folks. If you think I'm a qualified enthusiast to take care of my own cars, I'm a qualified enthusiast to take care of your cars, and I have built the sickest facility. Go to westsidecollectorcarstorage.com. Westside Collector Car Storage, or just Google us, and we are here for you. Alrighty then. On this episode and pair of episodes, it's the crew. It's me and Zach in studio talking about life, talking about cars, answering your questions. We managed to make the whole show not about the coronavirus. Trust me, we did, I promise. It's the crew shows from the lockdown on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
What up, fools? It's the Smoking Tire Podcast. Hello. What's happening, quarantined people?
I mean, we are.
We are. Yeah, I mean, we
staying in here.
We're in two guys in a room. That's our whole office. And
yes.
So we're okay, I think. But yeah, I've been kind of stuck at home. They closed the beaches. They closed the parks. So it's kind of nice to live by the beach, because when they close the beach, they don't really close it for you. They really just close the parking lots. They can't really close the beach. So
people are still like running by or going to it.
But they closed the parking lots, which is eerie. I took some like apocalypse like film photographs yesterday of like a beautiful sunny day and like totally empty parking lots. So yeah, weird. But I spent yesterday morning in the canyon, so I think that's still a thing you can do.
I mean, you're in a car by yourself, right?
Point A to point A drive. I wasn't totally by myself. Misha from Periphery met me up there. He was in his own car, and we kept probably a 10-foot radius at all times. But, like, I think that's okay. And so I had a nice little point A to point A drive. This photo you've got up is that little point and shoot again. The point and shoot with the awesome lens. I was like, fuck, that's great.
The super lens.
We had a great day. The roads were wet, and this Volvo is good. It's good in the wet. It's a good wet weather car.
I filmed it in nothing but rain in Banff, but I did not get to drive it in the wet.
I mean, so you can't fully disable traction control, right? That's the real problem here. I mean, it's not really a problem because, you know, before it was like a front wheel drive based like Haldex anyway, so it's like not like you're gonna be like doing crazy. You have to be Chris Harris and decipher the Rubik's Cube of procedures to figure out how to slide it.
Also, to need to, like, we filmed Proving Grounds, and Lee's always like, I wish this ECU gave me a little more, and you're like, this is a minivan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for anyone who's not like, you know, I went up to the big skid pad at the top of ACH, like sort of by where this photo is taken. And I attempted to turn everything off. You can't. You just can't. So so that's, you know, a drawback to having the most complex powertrain you can have south of a Koenigsegg.
It's like a Group B car.
I mean, it's so complicated. So, okay, so here's how this Volvo works, if you don't understand how this thing works. We're talking about the V60 Polestar Engineered. Polestar Engineered. It's like a whole package, right? Am I peaking, or is it just my headphones that I'm peaking?
I don't know. Okay, but I can turn you down.
Or my headphones are $12 pieces of shit. Could be that too.
Little A and B.
A, B, little C. So you've got a look. I have the actual. You've got a twin-charged 2-liter twin-charged turbo and supercharged inline 4 8-speed automatic, 328 horsepower, 317 pound-feet going to the front wheels. Okay. Then you also have 2 electric motors in series, strangely enough. Yeah, not one on each wheel, in series, with an 11.6 kilowatt hour battery for a total of 415 horsepower and 494 pounds of torque. If you have fully drained the battery, you don't get the battery power. So it's not like all the time, but you get a lot. There's a lot of battery power, like, and you have ample warning. You know, like the Porsche hybrids, it's very logical that, oh, you've got this gas engine, like, use it to make electricity.
Yeah.
So it has a charge mode.
Okay.
It's not as good as the Porsche's charge mode, but it is there and it does work. So you can drain the battery, drive on gas while proactively charging the battery back up. and then drive on battery again.
Right. So if you're going to arrive somewhere where you had to use EV or wanted to, like, you know, like driving to London, I think is kind of an idea for that.
Or just, I mean, anywhere where you've got like city followed by freeway or whatever, followed by city. You know what I mean? You can use the battery in the city, switch to gas for the freeway, and then switch back to battery if you want. I drove around for like 4 days only on battery.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't use any gasoline at all. Just like the Volt. You know what I mean? Plug it in at my house on a little 110. You got 22 miles of range, which for a lot of people that's like nothing. But if you live in somewhere like Los Angeles, 22 miles is like you can run all errands all day on 22 miles.
And it never kicked into gas. You know, some cars it's battery, and then as soon as you dip past 12% throttle, it's like
if you get like on the floorboard, the gas engine will come on. But if you can use quite a bit of throttle, it's not super sensitive like that. If you put it in eco, it understands what you want. Or not eco, yeah, I guess it is. Or EV, whatever. If you put it in EV, like the car understands that you want EV, but if you go full throttle, it's like, oh, we need to go. Yeah.
No, full is fine, but there's cars I've driven where you had to be so gentle and gently accelerate as if you were walking. Yeah. And if you dipped further into that, it would kick on gas.
What hybrid car was that? I know I had that experience in something, but I can't remember what it was.
It was almost a game to like see if you can not get the ICE to turn on.
No. This one's good. And then you know, it's a smooth experience if you leave it in regular, which is regular hybrid, you know, which is use electricity but also blend in the gas. It's pretty smooth. It's fine. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a nice, smooth, luxurious experience. It's a really like high quality thing. Just like the buttons, the materials, the seats, like all that stuff is like really, really nice.
The seats are really
nice. Good time placement. The stereo is great. The integration with CarPlay was really good. There's lots of smart storage and all that kind of shit. But here's the thing. It's 4,500 pounds. 4522, which is 556 pounds heavier than Hannah's
the regular V60.
The regular one from 2 years ago, the fastest one. So even though it's got a turbo, a supercharger, an electric powertrain, you know, infinitely adjustable all-wheel drive, an 8-speed gearbox, and so it's got all this shit, everything you could throw at a car, it's still a couple tenths slower than the old car to 60 and in the quarter mile.
Hers is just a front-wheel drive.
No, all-wheel drive.
Turbo.
All-wheel drive, transverse inline 6 turbo, funky powertrain.
Quick. I remember being quick.
It is quick. Yeah, it was quick. Now, the trade-off is, like, with the battery being placed in an ideal position and with the front end, the smaller 4-cylinder engine, then the big transverse inline 6, like, it's heavier, but it's distributed a little better, so it feels pretty agile still. But, like, you know, it's that Volvo steering is very, like, numb. It's a numb steering, accurate, but numb, you know. But everyday car, love it, because like the non-M BMW steering is also fucking numb.
Totally,
you know what
true.
I mean? Like all those regular German cars, like guess what? They got numb ass steering now too. So like, I really liked the Volvo. I found the quality to be excellent. And my video is 19 and a half minutes long. I drove it in the rain. I had a nice rain canyon day. And Zach was doing the footage, but when I got here, it's very pretty. It's a pretty video.
Very pretty footage. I remember the center screen reacts very quickly because I believe it's like a laser grid. It's not like the technology they use for that center screen. It's not like a pressure sensitive thing. Like you can hover your finger above it slightly and still activate it, but it reacts like really, really quick. It's a really quick computer.
It is a really fast screen. It's not as fast as the Levante I've got outside.
Because that's Uconnect.
Because it's Uconnect.
Drag race, but Uconnect would win all day.
Yeah,
it would.
Touchscreen drag race.
Hellcat, the Hellcat of cars and the Hellcat of MMI systems.
Yeah,
Dodge.
Uconnect is fast.
Uconnect's great.
Yeah. The other thing I wrote, well, the most interesting thing probably about that Volvo is not the powertrain. It's the fact that it's a fucking Volvo station wagon hybrid that comes with factory adjustable Öhlins shocks. Like, not adjustable like sport mode on a button. I mean, like, you open the hood and you have to turn knobs, and you have to know what they mean when you're turning them. Like, you can straight up adjust the shocks on this Volvo wagon, and they're like Öhlins shocks. So the ride is, you know, fucking great.
Such a strange feature, like a great feature. Whatever engineer got that through, and whoever it's for is a very cool person. Like the market is.
They had to be like,
really cool.
Only lunatics are going to buy a $68,000 Volvo wagon, you know. Like, and those lunatics will care about certain things like this.
It's almost like the piece of your former track life that you have to hide from your significant other, and that's where it is. It's like it's under the hood. They'll never know it exists. But you're like, I can do my suspension.
Yeah. Now, for those of you, I realize this is a pretty hardcore enthusiast show, so a lot of you know what Öhlins are. If you've never heard of what these things are, it's a shock. It's a coilover shock, but a shock absorber. But it's like what you would put on your track day Porsche or Ferrari. Like, you'd go to BBI Autosport and you'd upgrade from whatever the factory Ferrari 430 or 458 setup was to an adjustable Öhlins for track. And like, to have that on to have it on a factory Volvo and then have it also be adjustable is pretty wild. And to the Volvo's credit, the last gen car also had Öhlins too.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not the first.
This is not the new car, but it does show like
that
it's
is
the same.
That's the new car. The picture you've got right there? Yeah, that's the new car, and that's under the hood with the gold knob. Yeah,
I mean, it's got like, you know, it's a white strut bar, tower strut bar. It's got like a graph. It's got a plus and a minus, Polestar Engineered Öhlins, and this yellow, like, anodized aluminum knob that you can turn, which is just, it's such an interesting, like, hardcore car person thing hidden in what most people would assume is just the commuter of commuters.
Yeah, which is cool. Like, it's cool. I was definitely mobbing in that video. Like, it's not, you know, car's not slow. Car's quick. And it's got a real, it's not a full dual personality because it's not aggro, even in Polestar mode or whatever. Like, it's not aggro, like, at all. You know what I mean? But it's, at $67,000, you're not getting anywhere near an E63 wagon. For money wise, you're not getting anywhere near, you know, an RS6. It's half the price of either of those things.
Yeah.
So for half more, you're getting way more than half the car. Way more.
That's a good way to put it, because the RS6 is obviously much faster in a straight line. But
yeah,
if you don't care about that,
it's just as numb and digital. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Steering feel?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, maybe a little. It's a little better, but it's not like it's. But you're not talking about a McLaren.
I know.
You know what I mean? You're still
but
talking about. Audi is they weigh the same. Audi's using tricks to mask 4,600 pounds. Volvo and Polestar are doing what they can to mask 4,500 pounds. You know what I mean? AMG, I think it's a little lighter. I think the AMG is. Can you Google the weight? What's the curb weight of a E63S wagon? It's probably up in the 45s, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was the lightest of the three. It feels the most agile of the three. Curb weight is. Google didn't just spit it out?
It didn't. It's gotten very good at that.
You didn't type curb weight? Oh, how about that? Usually it's so good at just spitting that shit directly out. It feels the most agile. What does that say?
4669
so
estimated.
So it's all the same.
They're all about the same.
They're all the same. But it's from a quality perspective, you know, it's up there with
very nice car
with the finest of assembled.
So good looking.
Interiors. Yeah,
I mean,
and they just swapped it out. So now I'm overlapping. Thank God the fleet guys are continuing to drop off cars, because it means we have videos to make. Like, that's like the difference between having videos and not having videos. I mean, I'm sure we could find some other weird shit to film, but like, we're doing cars because they're continuing to bring cars.
Yeah, that's very good.
So we got the XC90 just came in, and we've got the Levante. So it's like fucking SUV week, I guess.
It is. Well, it's a five passenger week with a dog in the back.
Yeah,
wagon
so
and two other wagons.
But the video will be up by the time this podcast goes up for real. Not the live show, but the real show. Then this video will be up. The V60 Polestar Engineered. Please go watch it. Please.
Please, we need it.
Well, you never know. It's the kind of thing it gets good response on Instagram. Everyone talks about how much they like these videos of the fast wagons, but sometimes they don't. People don't always step up. I thought based on the response on Instagram to Zuckerman's fucking white M5, I thought that video would be fucking cracking 1 million views or something. People were like, fucking jerking off, like, white M5, E39. And then, it did okay. It didn't do that. It did all right.
It's like this car, people look at the Instagram and they go, yeah, I'd buy that if I could immediately. They don't need you to convince them so they don't go watch the video. And they're not going to be super entertained because it's not like 700 horsepower.
I know.
So it's funny. It's like, yeah, that car's perfect. I don't want to date it.
Go watch the video. Yeah. And then, we've got this Maserati right now, which on the way over here, I was driving it over here and I was thinking about, I was like, oh man, this thing is pretty good. Like the quality of it, there's some obvious Chrysler bits. The starter button and the window switches are obvious Chrysler items, and Uconnect, but Uconnect is disguised well enough, and it's really, really good. But as I was thinking to myself, the quality of the car.
Oh, no.
The ashtray cover came off in my hand, and I've brought it into the studio to demonstrate. I swear, I didn't try to break it. I swear. I was not, and I wasn't like banging things going, let me break this. That's the thing. It slides. It's like at the top of a slider thing that covers the front USB ports and stuff.
But did these things break off of where it
I don't think
mounts?
they broke off. I think they slid out of where it mounts.
Okay.
The car has 580 miles on it, and that has come off, which is unfortunate because the rest of it seems pretty nice.
I mean, this is aluminum. That's nice.
It's a nice
piece.
It's not
plastic.
It's really nice when it's attached to the car.
Well, now you can take a piece of the car with you.
Now I can take it home with me.
It's
I brought it in. I thought it was kind of funny, and I'm not trying to be mean. Look, it does say. Well, I didn't actually notice this. It's got a Maserati logo on it, so it's not like it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee part, with a cover. But it's just I'm sure it's a coincidence. But underneath the Maserati logo, you can hold it up to the camera, and it says NVM made in Italy. Like it literally says NVM on it. Like, never mind, made in Italy.
Never mind, this is made in Italy. Hey, but you know what? It's like we want cars to be light, and we also want them to feel substantial, and this feels substantial because it's aluminum.
Yeah.
But it definitely weighs more than a plastic one.
As I was thinking to myself, like, wow, this thing's actually pretty nice. I went to go close that, and came
it just slid right off. That's funny.
That engine, though, ooh, that engine is nice, man. That engine is so good. Fucking good. That engine is that's a finely tuned engine, not just in the sound, but it goes like hell, man. That thing. Yeah, there's not a lot of SUVs out there that rev past 7.
Ooh.
Well, it's not something you think about.
True.
But
what's it rev to?
72. It's not way past 7, but it feels 72 feels like a lot of revs when you're in something like that. I think the X5M is 6,700 or something. The Porsche's not even 7. The Cayenne Turbo's not even 7. The Grand Cherokee's definitely not.
No, I was just curious.
It's in the 6s, I'm sure. But it just it feels like it's got long legs and a top end, sort of and it's got that very particular Ferrari snarl, the Italian snarl. You get it from Maserati and Ferrari both, but it has a really good, the tone of it is superb. It's fucking really nice sounding car.
You recognize that exhaust note from a block away, but it's not obnoxious. F-types can be obnoxious.
It's not
you're I want to see what this is. And then it goes by and you're that's 10 years old, but I don't care.
It's not recognizing a G35. It's not bad.
Jeez.
It's really a
You know what the G35 sounds like? Remember Private Parts, Howard Stern's movie?
Yeah.
When he makes the girl come through the speaker over the radio, and at one point he goes, "Brrr."
Yeah, they get that real tight shot
Yeah,
of his face.
that's what that sounds like. Sounds terrible. If you haven't seen that movie, you all have time. It's very funny.
You should. It's
really
a funny fucking movie.
Howard Stern's.
Yeah, I'm Team Opie, and that's still a funny movie. Yeah. So we're gonna go to the canyons. Are you gonna come with me on Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna go to the canyons with the Maserati. I've only been driving around town. Before the ashtray came off, I drove it on the 90. You know, I got on it a little bit, and there's an undulation that is a good place to test a car's sort of on throttle, how it responds. So if you hit this undulation on throttle, sometimes you get a little hop or like a little yump, and this thing did. This is going to be good, what I'm going to say. It took that bump in the way I usually see, like, mid-engine sports cars take it. Like, it moved kind of like a mid-engine car, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute, because I really haven't been driving it because I wanted to drive the Volvo until they took it because I made the video.
Right.
So this is my first time kind of really driving it, besides just... It did the thing. I was like, oh, I like that thing it just did there. That was very good. So it seems quite promising. The way it moved on the chassis, it was like, oh, this could be good.
The damper with speed was nice. Like it soaked it, set it, and you kept going.
And it had a real good combination between keep the power down and have this absorb the thing, like keep that contact patch there. Like it had some travel. Like I kind of like when they tune them like luxury rally cars. I kind of like that. Macan does it too.
Macan's very good.
Yeah,
that's a really good car.
I think I've booked the new Macan Turbo. They've updated some things.
Probably. I mean, it's been a
last one I
year.
drove was January 17, and so it's been some time.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be faster, better.
And I think I talked to Frank. I tried to get this Taycan 4S. I don't know if that's ready yet, though. Anyway,
I don't know.
These are the things.
I don't know the answer to that question. These are the things.
This is what's happening in the back end. We're trying to shuffle some cars around. Last show, we had a lot more Super Chat questions than we could handle. Many of them were good. And so we haven't forgotten you. Zach has saved some of the better ones. And we're going to get to some of those in a second. If you have a Super Chat question for us this show, get it in now, because we already have more than we can do for this whole show. And please make it good. Like, please. You can go back. You can literally listen to any of the last 100 shows.
Yeah.
if you want to know what sports car to buy for $20,000, go listen to any other show. I promise you someone's already asked.
Very good point.
Before we get to that, what do I have? We can debate whether or not to talk about this on the show, or we can save it for next time. For my list of things, how to work at home. I've had 3 or 4 people ask me to talk about how to work at home. They're like, I've never had to work at home, and you pretty much always work at home. How do I do this? So we can talk about that. Also, shout out to anybody who saw my ragu meat sauce recipe on Instagram and went and made it. At least 20 to 25 of you went and made it and sent me pictures, and I'm proud of every single one of you. And a bunch of people said it was delicious. Someone else even wrote it up for another food blog, which was really funny.
That's really cool.
So that's my Tuscan Women Cook meat sauce recipe, and it's on my Instagram. I put the whole recipe, the step-by-step I made. It's very easy. It's only about 6 ingredients, and it's the best meat sauce you'll ever have. I've been doing some food stuff that's going well on Instagram. If we can't go out and make cars, like if they stop fucking sending cars, I'm going to have to start making food videos. I don't really have a choice. We got to make videos about something. And then...
What did I call it at dinner? The smoking fryer or something?
The smoking fryer, which Sarah came up with that. Your Sarah came up with that.
She did.
Yes, in Tahiti.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but we were debating in Tahiti whether to use FRYER or FRIAR.
Right.
And I think we landed on FRYER because FRIAR comes off like I'm reviewing ganja. Like I'm the friar of smoking.
Or like, isn't that slightly religious? And people would not spell it correctly when they're searching for friar.
True.
You want it to be the easiest to spell. So someone goes, oh, it's on this channel, Smoking Fire. People are going to go, okay. And they're going to,
So
they're not going to go, sorry, the Robin Hood spelling or the cooking spelling? Like
Robin Hood or Red Robin? So if you're quarantined and you want to cook a really easy recipe that just takes where time is an ingredient, because boy do we have a lot of it. We're focusing on recipes where time is not.
Where time is unlimited.
Everyone's like 30-minute meals. Quick, make dinner for your family when you're home from work and tired. Now it's like, what can I do that will take 12 hours?
That needs only modest maintenance, right?
Oh yeah, no, this is easy. This recipe is 60 minutes of manual labor, stirring meat for 60 minutes straight. And then after that, it's like one stir every 15 minutes for 2.5 to 3 hours.
Nice.
It's easy. But shout out to any one of you people who actually went home in your own kitchen and made it. And a lot of you sent me pictures on Instagram, and I'm proud of all of you. We'll keep doing food. If you keep on, I'll keep making my fucking shit. You keep doing. I already started some pictures of tonight's dinner, so we're good to go. That was some leftovers with the sauce. You can use it as a topping for a hot dog. The meat sauce,
good
the hot
red
dog
sauce, put on anything.
Dude, the topping for a hot dog was perfect. And then go to the next picture in that series, Zach. And then I took them potatoes and I smashed them and fried them into those. You know, when you've got an oven potato, the next day, get a hot skillet, oil, smash that shit with a heavy spoon or something, smash it, and then you crisp it up, and then you put the sauce on it. Some Parmesan.
Yeah.
Killing the game.
Into that.
So yeah, we'll make more food videos, but I made me so happy when people started sending me.
It's cool
that they made it. Everyone's got a lot of time, and
and all the restaurants are closed.
And the last thing I want to talk about, Zach, I found this morning. Someone sent it to me. I forget who, and they're gonna be mad that I forget it. But they sent me an RV. Dwell, the interior magazine.
Yeah.
Google Dwell RV GMC motorhome. You know those old school, like the Stripes GMC RV?
Oh, yeah, the weird, like, 6-window.
Yeah,
there you go.
That one. And they did there's this husband and wife, they're carpenters by trade, and they redid the interior of one of these. I've stayed in one of these for a week, and they're like, of the period. But you got to look what they did with the interior. I guess look at the interior. It's sick.
Wow.
It's all like walnut and butcher block, and they got rid of all of the top level cabinets. There's cabinets that are normally above, and so they got rid of all of them to make it. Go to the next picture where they look forward. No, continue.
That's the before. Whoa.
Yeah, they stripped the whole thing out.
All gutted.
But when they show the forward view, it's really amazing because
the windows
without the cabinets, you have a 270-degree glass forward view all the way around. The whole thing's glass.
Because the glass goes all the way to the roof, but I guess
they
it's
took all
normally
the
covered by
cabinets
cabinetry.
Yeah.
Even looking out over the kitchen, like right here, that's really, really nice. It's so light and airy.
I want these people to do a boat so bad.
This is cool.
Right? I want butcher block, aluminum, everything. Like, please, like, someone give this couple a lot of money to update.
Nice cabinet or fridge, whatever that is. This is really, really nice.
Yeah.
This is on dwell.com.
If you're just listening to the audio version, just go when you're free moment, think about it. Google Dwell GMC motorhome, because like this couple fucking killed it. It's real cool.
Very cool. I'm gonna have to save that.
And there's just so much glass. Like wherever you park this thing, you just have a view all the way around.
Yeah.
Very, very cool stuff. And we're a fan of truck and bus conversions.
Hell yeah.
Well.
Mobile comfort.
To the people. What do we got? What do we got in the hood, Zach?
We have a lot of things. Okay. This guy just put $1,500 into his 2011 GTI, and he's getting tired of it. He likes the versatility, but needs a new car. He works in a city garage, he parks in a city garage, drives once a week maybe, but likes to take longer trips. Needs under 25 grand.
Longer trips, city garage, less minimal maintenance.
I'm guessing if you're coming out of a German car, you're probably really excited for minimal maintenance. Just as someone who has.
I would find the nicest Lexus GS that you can buy with that budget. That's like a real good highway car. You won't have to think about parking it so much.
Interiors are nice. They're good looking. They handle well. I think this answer also goes for Hinder Singh, his question was right below. He wants an all-wheel drive with a V8, a new car with all-wheel drive V8, which is not very common.
Dodge Charger. You can get that. Hemi.
It's true.
You can get a Hemi
the cops
drive.
in Colorado had those. I was like, how is this thing, man? I bet you have the best time.
Yeah, they probably have
tires.
a good time. Yeah. All-wheel drive V8. Does it have to be a sedan? Because there's a lot of SUVs that have that. Dodge Durango RT. Jason Camisa loved the Durango RT. The dynamics of it were very good.
They are. Have you driven one?
Yeah,
like we drove one in the canyons a long time ago. It still feels like that.
They mob.
Like, they do. They handle very well.
Yeah, look up the RT. Is there an SRT as well? There's an SRT Durango.
I don't know.
Right?
You don't need it. Just RT is good enough.
The RT was shockingly good. You could really drift it nicely. And Camisa was doing like drag launches with it over and over. Go read Jason Camisa's Durango RT review. It's really entertaining.
Yeah, 2020 Durango RT is $46,000 to start. All-wheel drive.
He really beat the shit out of it. It has a good launch control. It has variable RPM, so you can set the launch control like 4,200 RPM and dump it. It's
wow,
rad.
just like pure. It's like this is aimed at people who tow drag cars.
Yeah, well, at P Cody, I think it might have been maybe before you got there, because didn't you get there a little bit later?
I got there late.
Yeah. We were doing the Carrera S versus the Durango RT, like in the parking lot.
Oh my God, that's funny. What's it called? Bracket racing. You're getting that perfect start. Yeah. That's funny. Let's see. What is the beginning of, quote, Boxster came in as an only car that can reliably get me to work for 5 to 8 years, money?
Oof.
Wow. He has a stock BRZ. So
how
what's
early
next?
can you go?
Like how cheap can you go to have a Boxster Cayman that will last 5 to 8 years? 5 to 8 years is a long time.
That's a long time. I mean, I would say none of the first gen Boxsters. Ignore the first generation cars entirely. If you're starting with the second gen cars, that's probably an okay place to start. 987. So pretty much all Caymans, but Caymans and Boxsters aren't special. I mean, they're lovely, but they're each a Cayman isn't special. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
Follow me? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, nicest, newest one you can afford.
Yep.
I mean, that's the bottom line. There's no hard line. Just generally, nicest, newest one you can afford.
Don't stretch to get this car too hard. Like, if you're like, well, they do come as cheap as this,
Yeah,
you don't want the outlier.
No,
you're gonna end
no.
up with a maintenance bill.
No, and the ones with little engines really kind of suck. I mean, the really, like the 2.7s, like the old engines, like those kind of suck. They are slow. So, if you want, nicest, newest one you can afford. That's
all right.
Maintenance records.
Quick
PPI.
one, 2015 Focus ST or Mark 7 GTI for a daily driver? I go GTI.
The Focus ST is more engaging. The GTI feels more luxurious. GTI has a better back seat.
Mm-hmm.
Focus, I think, looks a little better.
Oh,
but
okay.
Honestly, 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah.
I like the controls in the Focus a little better. I like the shifter, the pedals, the steering a little better than the GTI. But the GTI is a little cushier.
True.
Yeah. GTI can come in automatic, whereas the Focus cannot.
Grayson asked if you ever considered having your dad on the podcast. I think you've invited him before.
I did, and we just never got around to it. Yeah. I still it's one of those things that's like on a list somewhere.
All right, so this is interesting. Illusions asked, should I spend $4,000 on an HKS supercharger for my BRZ, or should I spend that money on getting a second car because banging in the back of the BRZ is not comfortable at all? The reason I think this question is good is, one, it's funny, but two, there's rumors that popped out today that that Toyota leaked a bunch of details, and the next BRZ is going to have 255 horsepower.
I saw that. I saw the image. It wasn't bad looking. It looked pretty nice. Of an updated 86. It's probably real. I don't know why it wouldn't be real. But yeah, a turbocharger is coming. So if you like your current car, I mean, yeah, sure, upgrade it. But $4,000 is not a lot of money to buy a second car. It's not getting you a lot of car. I mean, it's getting you a little car, but it's not getting you a lot of car. And
it'll get you a Crown Vic, which you can definitely have sex in. That's what it will get you.
That's a good point.
Or it'll get you any used Camry that's gold.
That's a good point. If you sell your car, you could get a Crown Vic and a set of hydraulics, which will actually have sex for you.
No engine, but it has working hydros, like the show car that's like engine not in there, but it's got 18 batteries in the back.
Yeah. Is that the new? What's that?
I don't know. This is
what
car
did you just
scoop.
pull up?
This is a car scoop.
Is that one of the things that
of
leaked?
Maybe one of the Toyota things that leaked.
Oh.
I was trying to find a photo of the new one, but yeah, they say it'll have a 2-liter turbo,
which is probably like a WRX engine, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
probably.
Yeah, I mean that'll be cool if you want to hold out and get something like that. I would understand. That seems like a good place to start.
I tell you what, those rumors aren't really going to help sales of the Hakone Edition 86.
I mean, you know who bought one and hit me up? Our old friend Craig Lieberman's son.
Really?
Has one, yeah. And hit me up and
really nice
enjoyed your
car.
video.
Really fun car. But man, if I saw that video and was like, oh, you know what, maybe I'll check, and then the next thing I click says next one's gonna have 2-liter turbo, I'd be like, I think I'll stay.
I think I'll hold out.
I'll hold. Mm-hmm. All right. Trent, we've answered this question before. We'll keep it short. What's the way to best get into a car magazine? Start writing for anyone. You probably have to do it for free for a little bit. Online blogging, build up a resume, and then submit something to someone at the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much it.
Most of those people can be reached.
Yes. Twitter. Like
I've had people send me some things recently that were actually kind of decent, and I have responded very positively, and we've encouraged more writing. So I read people's writing. I don't fucking publish it. Like, not my job to get you published, but if you want some feedback, I'll read your shit.
Yes, very true.
If it's amazing, I'll send it to somebody. Like, really amazing. But I hate everything, so it takes a lot.
It'd have to be a lot. Someone quickly asked, ninjas versus pirates, who would win? Who do you think?
Probably ninjas. Pirates usually
I think
drunk.
they're smarter. Right, exactly. Pirates have guns, but I think it's a lot of close combat fighting, and the guns back then were not very accurate.
And pirates really rely on a lot of ropes, and ninjas usually have blades, which can handle the ropes pretty okay. They could probably fuck up a sailboat before the pirates even woke up.
This is like who would win, balloons or scissors?
I always like in a pirate movie though, where one of them jumps into the sail with a blade and then
that is cool.
Saws their way down a sail.
And they slow themselves down.
Yeah,
a stuntman should try that.
Did a MythBusters? Did they ever do a thing on that?
I hope so.
That'd be a good MythBusters.
With a harness, I hope. That would be cool. Like if you turn, I've always wondered if you turn the knife, does it tear slower because it's wider?
If you turn it like perpendicularly?
Like while you're going down, does that slow you at all, or is it just
if you make
gravity?
S's like skiing?
Well, no, yeah, you probably can't do that because once you start tearing its canvas, it's just going straight. I bet a lot of dudes broke their legs. Yeah, I saw Steve do this last week, and then nope, fluke. Yar. That's why I got my peg leg now. A man named Chris Kim says he's a doctor, and please take Corona-19 very seriously because it's very dangerous. Stay the fuck home. That's literally what he wrote. Just in case you were on the fence.
Yeah. Did he mean that to us?
I think he meant it to everybody. He said just a PSA.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it was directed at... He didn't say, hey, assholes.
I think people, at least in my vicinity, have finally... Like, it's way, way quieter yesterday and today than it was over the weekend, at least in Venice. I'm not trying to extrapolate Venice to be the whole world, but Venice was one of the places that the news was like, you fuckheads... I'm not me, tourists, but and today it was crickets down there, so I think people are finally...
People are slowly getting it. Driving ability versus the better car. Which one wins and why?
Driving ability every single time, and all you ever have to do to prove that is go to the very first day of any racing school, where you will be in some type of race car or a Corvette or a Hellcat or something fucking hot, and the instructor will be in a 6-year-old Ford Fusion or a van or something slow and old and terrible and house every single person at the school, and it won't even be close. And that's they open pretty much all driving schools with a humbling moment sort of like that. That's all you need to know.
Well, it's like journalist launches sometimes. They'll put, they're launching the fast car. And then the pro driver that's doing the lead of the lead follow is in the slower car.
Yeah.
And no one is keeping up except for Rob Holland is kind of there, but otherwise, nobody.
Yeah.
We answered that one last time.
Yeah, at the GT2 RS press launch, the lead cars were all GT3 RSs, which were down 200 horsepower. And I think it was Mike Harley came on the podcast and talked about, I think it was Hurley driving the cars, right? Was it Hurley Haywood?
Yes, he
was, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, like nobody, and he's like, nobody's keeping up. He's like, I can have 400 extra horsepower. I'm not keeping up with fucking Hurley.
Yeah,
Haywood.
his exits are perfect.
Yeah.
And Hurley's bored the whole time, by the way.
I'm going to go back to Florida. Fuck this.
The guys are so slow. We've answered this question a lot, but I'll do it really quick. Debating between a 2JZ E30 build, but you also want a 996 Carrera 2. You should buy the car that's already working.
Yes, correct. A car that works is a good car. Yeah.
All right. Okay, $25,000 budget. Wants a national park exploration vehicle for him, his wife, a baby, and a big ass. I'm gonna say tent. I'm gonna skip roof tent because I think those are kind of dumb. He wants a roof tent. I think they're silly.
How much money?
25,000. Yeah.
National park exploration. I mean, I suppose it's got to depend how you define exploration, right? We're not off-roading, I guess, right?
You can't off-road in a lot of the national parks. So it sounds like a road trip, maybe a little bit of element.
I mean, it ain't sexy, but a Honda Odyssey is the move.
With all-wheel drive? That's true.
A minivan, dude. A nice, comfy, spacious minivan with rear seat entertainment for the kid. You know, one of those nice big widescreen rears. The fucking vacuum you get, the whole deal.
True. Used Odyssey.
Yeah, a used Sienna or Odyssey is totally.
I would
also
add
unlimited
Forerunner.
mile rentals from. If you rent a Chrysler Pacifica from like Hertz or something or Enterprise or whatever, they have like a monthly rate for that, and it's like unlimited miles. So you could just rent a vehicle.
That's not a bad idea.
And then just give it back.
Depending on how long you're going to do this for and how many trips you're going to do. The reason I think rooftop tents are dumb is because, one, if you set up your tent when you get to the park, you can't drive your car anymore unless you take the tent down, which is something I think people kind of forget about. Like, they got really trendy and they are cool. They keep you off the ground. You get a nice view, but you lose the very thing that's beneficial about having a tent and a car. Yeah. And now you have an RV, essentially.
How long does it take to set up one of them rooftop tents?
Don't know.
I've never done it before.
But if you buy like a Cube, which I've used before, and those are really great.
What's a Cube?
Cube, it's like Cube, or the other company that makes it is, I can't remember. They set up in like 60 seconds. Oh. And it comes in like a 5-foot long like ski bag. And you lay it out, and it's got all these crossbars in it, and you just lift it, and it kind of goes and like pops up, because the bars it's made of or in there are like rubber plastic flexible, so they act like springs. And the one that my girlfriend has is like 91 inches wide, a square and tall. Like, I can stand in the center of it, extend my arms, and not touch anything.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Like, you could stand up in it. So you have stuff like that I think is cheaper than a tent. And then if you set it up, you can take your car and go look at sites and not have to bring the tent with you.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay, good point.
That's my thoughts on the rooftops.
But for the car, I mean, you know, something with good visibility, comfortable ride. I mean, national parks, like, the roads are okay. The roads themselves, it's not, you don't need a sports car. No. You don't, you know, just something with real comfortable seats, something where you can sit on the tailgate. Like, you don't want a super tall SUV where you have to jump up onto the rear bumper to sit on it. Like a minivan, you can just sit to put your hiking boots on.
True.
Whatever. Like, that's a changing station for shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I still say minivan, and there's some dope ass minivans you can buy.
Oh yeah.
Sick ones.
What was it? The new Pacifica has USB ports in the back and screens. It's like a plane.
Dude, they've got all kind of good shit now. It's great.
Jeremy Land says, the 911 will always be rear engine, but would it be better if it were mid-engine? Would the world be missing the last rear engine sports car experience, or would Porsche be better off for it?
Go drive a Cayman and you tell me. I mean, they make a mid-engine 911. It's called a Cayman. Like, they're pretty much... They're as close as two cars can be to each other, aside from where the engine is. Really, I mean that. Go drive one. I think the world is better that they make both, because why would we want less choice?
Right. Very true. Philip R34 says, do Americans feel like you are missing out on some of the Euro hot hatches? I know Matt has driven a Megane RS. What do you think?
That Megane RS didn't do that much for me. I mean, it was like, all right, it was fine. It was fine. It was like a Focus ST or one of those kind of things. Like, it wasn't all that. Like, it was nice, but it wasn't like mind blown. What was the rest of that question other than Megane RS? It was
just what do we think about? I think what do we think about Euro hot hatch forbidden fruit? Any we've driven or seen?
That's the only one I've really driven that we don't get here, unfortunately.
The RSGR would be cool.
That's gonna be cool, yeah.
Which we may not get. We may get. We don't know.
I heard it's gonna be like 37,000 euros.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
It's like, what was the
that's homologation prices though. That's what you want, a homologation car. Guess what? Homologation prices. It's not. That's how that works. Like, it's exactly how that works. But yeah, it's a lot of money for a Yaris of any vintage. But I don't know what other hot. Have I driven any other?
Are there any Renaults that?
I mean, that's that one.
Sorry.
I mean, there's
Peugeots.
like nothing that's modern that I know about that I feel like I really wish we could have. I haven't never driven a hatch that I thought was better than the Fiesta ST. I mean, unless like a Delta Integrale maybe, but
that's just
like
cooler.
That's cooler. It's
Yeah.
not objectively better.
Right.
Yeah. No, the Fiesta ST still is for me is the hatchback king.
I feel like we get enough good hatchbacks that if you want a fun to drive, good looking hatchback car, like, you can get one in America.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to have, like you said, having more choice is more fun.
Yeah.
But I feel like the whole, like, how come we don't get the cool stuff? Like, we get a lot of really cool stuff.
The Veloster N, for instance, is better than that Renault Megane RS 260 I drove. It is. But
exactly.
Yeah.
We get that.
The Renault wasn't bad. It just wasn't and I don't think that's the fastest one they make either. I think they make a faster one, but it was fine. It was a nice, quick hatchback with a front-wheel drive and good balance, and it was all right. You know, I'm pretty spoiled with shit. A car's got to be pretty fucking awesome for me to really be really into it. It was not leaps and bounds different from a Focus ST. That's pretty much how I felt about it.
Wiley's just basically donating money. He gave us a bunch of money last time, but he bought a 86 F350 with a 460 7.5 liter, gets 4 miles per gallon.
Nice.
He says, what is this economy mode you guys talk about? God, that's got to be... I mean, that thing will last forever, but man...
It's good. It's a good-looking truck. It's enormous. Classic proportions. Larry Casilla had one of those back in the day. It was diesel and had dual tanks. Held like 35 gallons of fuel.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a beast. I can't imagine that gas one. The gas one's got to be atrocious. I mean, it's probably slow as shit, too.
Some dudes in high school had... Well, a guy in high school had one of those. It was a 4-door long bed, baby blue with like white vinyl on the side. And for Halloween one year, him and his friends piled 3 in the car wearing racing helmets and drove through downtown Santa Cruz with a giant, like the size of this table, Metallica Kill 'Em All flag mounted in the bed, and they got pulled over. Because it's like, you can't wear a helmet on the street, sir. Plus, you're probably up to something. Plus, which one he was drunk. Plus, like...
Is there actually a law against wearing a helmet on the street?
I think they said that they got pulled over for obstructing their vision while driving a streetcar.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
That could be.
I always thought...
I'd love to find the fucking statute that says you can't wear a helmet while driving a streetcar.
That would be good. I have an open face helmet now, and if I drive cars on the street that have cages, I should wear the open face helmet.
That's true. You really should.
I should.
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel like I'm just really advertising to the police that I should talk to them. We should hang out.
That would be a good PSA to drive put a helmet on, in a caged car in the street.
If you're going to cage your street car, here's what you should do.
Here's what you need to be doing.
You just can't hear anything unless it has like the holes in the ears.
Yeah. Like you could. What you make like a halo, like a donut that just.
That'd be funny. Like an open helmet.
You just like.
You need
like a visor, like a helmet.
Like boxers' helmets.
Yeah,
for sparring.
Yeah.
You need a sparring helmet. Dominic Boyer says, "What do we think is the most overlooked car brand of 2020?"
Genesis.
Yeah.
G70 rocks.
It's great.
Yeah, it's like a really objectively nice thing, even compared to some German stuff that's noticeably more expensive. G70 rock.
The interior on that car is great looking.
Yeah.
Like the quilted leather on the
quilted
doors looked really
stitching.
good.
Yeah.
The quality was really high.
Yeah.
The layout was nice.
They were definitely doing a Bentley thing. I mean, like, and they actually pull it off. I mean, obviously it's not at the level Bentley does it in terms of like, the cows don't see wires. You know what I mean? It's not on that level, but stylistically and to the touch, it's like, ooh, they're going for a Bentley thing here, and it's not working.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think the exterior is okay looking. It's pretty good, but I think if you walk by the car and if you walk past it because you don't think the outside looks super amazing, you should take a look inside because the inside much better.
rules, and it drives good.
It does.
Yeah,
Hauls balls.
Yeah, that's definitely most overlooked brand right now.
Dap says, how do you show appreciation to a rad car on the road? Do you give a thumbs up? Do you give a nod? Do you give a wave?
The Shaka. If
Not
you're in
acknowledge at all.
California, I use the Shaka, which is the bullhorns motion, but alternating back and forth. If you're unfamiliar with such a motion,
I think a beep with a
that's
wave.
usually appreciated. A beep, a light beep. Yep. If you're in an Italian car and have a really friendly horn, like my Italian car has a very friendly horn, which I use a flash. You know, yeah, people can usually figure it out. I like the Shaka though.
I do a thumbs up. Nobody really confuses that for anything. Joe Leonard says, what aspects of a steering system contribute to feel? Is it possible to replicate mechanical steering feel in a modern electric rack?
That's a nerdy question, and the answer is a lot of things. Like, there's a lot of variables you can play with that change how a car steers. I mean, in electric steering, we've seen the biggest difference in the two different types is the motor on shaft versus motor on rack. And I believe the Porsche system is motor on rack.
Correct.
And a lot of the other higher end systems are motor on rack, and then the cheaper systems are motor on shaft. I don't necessarily want to define them into cheaper or expensive, more expensive. I'm not really sure, but it is a conscious choice to use one or the other. And I think the for the sports cars, the ones on the rack are a lot better. What else can change your steering feel? I mean, the size of the steering wheel. For one, you can put a smaller or bigger steering wheel on your car to really change the size of it, assuming it's an old car. Bushings can change your steering feel. Sway bars can change your steering feel. Your tires can change your steering feel a lot. I mean, all kind of different stuff. Your ride height can change it. All different things can change it. Probably a lot more than that. There's a lot more things than that too. There's like your alignment, you know, so many like adjustments that smarter people than me can make.
I remember just when I was looking up the Z3 rack, the one that's supposed to be very good that people put into E36s and E46 BMWs. There's one Z3 rack that's like legendary. And there was a company that was selling refurbished ones.
Was it Flaming River?
It wasn't Flaming River. It was like a small eBay person because they're so hard to find. Someone's like, oh no, this guy started making them. And people bought one and they realized it felt different and they tore the whole thing apart. And just the steering shaft that goes from the wheel was like several millimeters smaller.
Right.
So it wasn't the same. And all of that means there was more twist in that, and that led to less feel.
Right.
And that changed the nature of this steering system they were selling. And it was like, it's actually not as good because here's why.
Yeah.
Like,
Say it's similar thing with the Mustangs, right? With the Fox bodies, I had to buy this special steering rack, which was the ZM code rack. And that was the steering rack out of the Cobra. And it was out of a 94, 95 Cobra. But it was a real, like the factory one, you know, never rebuilt, never revalved, and not one from like a Flaming River or whatever. It had to be. And I spent like, it was a lot of money to get this very specific rack because it had the best valving and therefore the best feel. And it did make a difference. There's like a lot of things.
A lot of pieces.
Yeah.
I think there are electric systems that feel better than some hydraulic systems. Like the Porsche system is very, very good. The Toyota 86 system, I was very surprised, was pretty damn good.
Yeah,
Miata too.
Being electric or being hydraulic is not a binary one feels good and one feels bad. I mean, a really well-tuned hydraulic system will feel a lot better than a shitty tuned electric system, and a really well-tuned electric system will feel better than a shitty hydraulic system. You know, like, so it's not that binary, but there's certainly a lot of things you can do to change how your car feels, and not a lot of them have to be big at all.
Yeah. Adam Silkwood, I don't understand this question. I think you will. He discovered Duck and Whale because of your Instagram. He says, are there any other recommendations for high-quality magazine coffee table books to get while he's at home?
Duck and Whale?
I guess you put up a thing.
I don't know what Duck and Whale is.
It sounds like the hipster company generator engine.
I don't know what that is.
Duck and Whale
magazine? Duck and Whale magazine?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Porsche thing. Oh, duck tail and whale tail. Oh, I get it. I don't think that was from me. I think maybe you found the Road Rat from me. I like reading the Road Rat a lot. I don't know about Duck and Whale. I'll have to check that out. Okay. What was the actual question there?
He was just asking if there's other things that he should order to read it while he's stuck at home.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, certainly, if you're not subscribed to the Road Rat, that is my favorite magazine that I don't write for. And it's a quarterly, and it's kind of expensive. It's a little on the expensive side, but it's big and it's thick, and the photography is excellent. It's like basically like a paperback coffee table book, sort of like that Porsche 000 deal, except about more things than just Porsche.
It's like, this is gonna sound weird. It's like the size of like a Vogue magazine, but there's not full of ads and bullshit.
Thicker than a Vogue.
It's huge. Yeah, I mean, that's why I say it's like a book. Like, it's really big.
It's like 300 pages, and there's not ads in it. Maybe like 10 pages of ads, the whole thing. So that you should definitely get. You should definitely subscribe to Road and Track. Yay. And what else should you be reading? I'm not reading that much right now. I'm fucking
really?
like.
You went on a tear for like 2 months, and now you're stuck at home.
Now I'm stuck at home. It should be the time that I'm reading, but I think I'm like too stressed out to read. I can't, because I'm still kind of working.
Yeah.
I'm not the job, the whole, all this bullshit has definitely impacted me negatively, but it hasn't impacted me doing a lot of my job. So I'm still at work. It's impacted our construction site though. Fucking hell. What a disaster.
Just why?
Well, I mean, because people aren't supposed to be going to work right now. And so we can't ask anybody to go to work. And we're not asking anybody to go to work. And so we are allowing people to come to work, a couple of people, very, very limited. You know, we have enough space where a few people can be working and it's not a problem.
Gotcha.
But we're, it's very, 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 very slow going.
Gotcha.
But have we talked about site conditions? We have to maintain site conditions.
Site
conditions mean you have an active construction site. And so you have to maintain your insurance, and you have to have a superintendent there, and you have to have this and this. And so even if nobody's working, if you have a construction site, you have to maintain site conditions. So if we get shut down, like, we may not have to pay the superintendent to be there because we'd be locked up and everything, but like all the things you need for a construction site, like insurance and renting the green fence and renting any scaffolding and renting like all kind of shit is part of site conditions. And so it's thousands of dollars a day. And so, site conditions, they continue.
Wow.
They continue no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Oh boy.
I don't know
Okay.
how I got there. Sorry. I had to say that shit. I'm sorry. I don't know how I ended up there. I know that's not like fun podcast conversation.
Let's see. We told Wiley to go watch All Cars Go to Heaven. He already watched both of them. What is our favorite moment from those?
Oh man, my favorite moment from both. I mean, I don't know if I have one favorite moment. My favorite thing about driving those trails is just that you see a part of the world that you can't see from regular roads. Like, the roads don't go there. And so we had several campsites that were like on top of mountains and shit, and we drove through several areas that are just not places that you can see from dirt road or from paved roads, and are far, 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 far more beautiful than what you can see from paved roads. So definitely recommend watching our films, All Cars Go to Heaven 1 and 2, and also recommend driving backcountry discovery routes if you can find them.
Absolutely. Really some of the best trips I've ever done.
Yeah. I want to do it again, just but in a car that I don't have to like worry about being stranded in the middle of nowhere again.
Yeah.
Am I holding a gun there?
Yep.
I was holding a gun.
Yeah, John Bothwell brought his 357.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you were like Model T, 357, Woods. Yeah. All Cars Go to Heaven too.
Yeah, we were definitely breaking some shit in that. I mean, it would be fun to have beaters again. Beaters did make it pretty fun, but
I think my favorite part was just bumping into you while we were driving and you getting on the radio and just being like, okay. Because it was like I was getting close to pit maneuvering.
Yeah.
You're just like, there's that pause and then, please don't pit maneuver the minivan.
Go watch that shit.
It was great. Do we think Monterey Car Week is canceled?
It will. I'm sure it will be. I mean, they're talking about canceling the Olympics, you know.
I understand that because it's all travel. There's a lot more travel. I mean, there's still a lot of travel from Monterey, but like the Olympics is...
Monterey is a lot of travel.
Every corner of the earth.
I can't... I mean... it's definitely going to be canceled. Yeah, I think it's for sure. I sort of stupidly bought tickets to a music festival in October, at the end of September. That I am now thinking. I know if it gets canceled, I'll get a refund.
That's good
because it's Eddie Vedder and he's good like that. Eddie Vedder would not stiff fans, but yeah, I almost feel kind of dumb for buying the tickets though. But you know, if it happens, I'll be glad I have them.
You never know. Josiah said he got some Michelin PS4s on our recommendation. They're great, and they undrifted his 350Z.
Undrifted.
So he says they undrift card my 350Z. That's funny.
Congratulations on staying on the road.
Simply Modified, quick question, says, what watch would you buy with your Trump check? I think that's the income relief fund.
Oh, are we getting money? Something tells me I don't think I get money. We might.
I don't know. I don't know how the tax bracket's going to work for it. I know that if I get it, it'll just go to rent.
I really feel like only big companies with lobbyists are going to be able to take care. I feel like this is going to be a kind of thing where regular people just get totally fucked again, and big companies get bailouts that probably don't deserve them. And I don't expect to ever get anything.
They're working back and forth on legislation. I know that like the first draft was only companies with between 50 and 500 people would get income relief, but most people in America work for a company that's more than 500 employees. So that's a problem, but yeah. I don't know. I'm not.
That seems like a very specific range.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I hope they do the right thing, because if this goes for any amount of time, like no one can pay their rent, no one can pay their mortgage, no one can pay their they're proposing car loan relief today. I saw
that one. Yeah.
You know, I mean, if they do what I think Italy did, where it was like, there's no mortgage for a couple months, there's no there's no penalty, just no one go outside.
Yeah, but then what happens in 2 months? Now everyone's behind.
Right. I know.
Or is it just straight up?
I mean, the fair thing would be like if they extended everyone's terms 2 months, but there's no penalty.
That's true.
You know, that
would be fair.
If they made everyone go, oh, by the way, you didn't pay the last 2 months, like, but you said I didn't have to. Like, did we? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's confusing in LA. It's sort of like they can't evict you, but like if you can pay. But like nothing will happen if you don't. But if you can, do. And you're like, well, bro, is it or isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry. It's March 24th, people. This is a rapidly evolving situation. Yeah. We're gonna try.
March 24th.
We're trying to not talk about the shit show that's our country right now.
We've run out of tuna.
There's fucking no way around it. We bought way too much prosciutto. Well, it was like one of the only deli meats left at the grocery store. People aren't about the prosciutto. They're like fucking bologna for days.
I think if there is an office somewhere that determines who gets the Trump check or not, if they hear we got too much prosciutto, they will not be sending you any money.
I was hoarding prosciutto. No, we weren't hoarding prosciutto.
Oh, that's funny.
No, actually, you know how we ended up with too much? Hannah, me, and Vinny went to 3 separate stores over a 24-hour period to get groceries, and each of us assumed we would all want prosciutto.
That's so weird. That's such a random thing.
It's not that random. Who doesn't love prosciutto?
I think I've crossed over to liking thick cut bacon more. The stuff they sell with it's like pre-rub, like it has like brown sugar rubbed on it, or like curry. It's really, really good.
That shit's good.
It's like a steak.
Oh, curry rub on the bacon?
Dude,
I would fuck
there
with
is
that.
a bacon section in Whole Foods.
I know.
You have to go.
Isn't it closed down for coronavirus?
It was open a few days ago.
Oh, was it?
But everybody, you can go and buy 1 slice if you want, or 2, and it's like thick cut, seasoned special ways. It's in the butcher. It's in like the smoked butcher area. Not expensive.
It's good.
Totally
it's always
worth
fogging up that glass, smelling
it's
dank.
so good, and it's like $1.
The curry one though.
The curry one is good, and I like the one that's just called savory.
Oh yeah,
which is redundant, but it's amazing. And I cannot pronounce this name at all. There are a lot of Z's and J's. He says his Porsche question. He had a 981 CS, and now he has a 987 Spider.
Cayman S, yeah, and now he's a Spider. Yes.
He's not a convertible guy.
Well, what are you doing?
Let's see. Should he do Euro delivery GTS 4? Or a GT or Cayman GT4, or just cross into something new? He lives in Philly.
Oh man, living in Philly, a GT4 on Philly roads. Philly has terrible roads. They're really bad for sports cars. Like, I don't know if I would get a Cayman GT4 in Philadelphia, because even though that car rides good, those roads they'll beat the shit out of that thing. You don't get nose lift, by the way. Cayman GT4, nose lift not an option. So that splitter, you'd be scraping. Ooh. Just so you know. Whereas the regular Cayman has a totally usable nose. So in Philly, I'd say get the GTS because you have, excuse me, because you have a more regular suspension, and Zach can attest to it. Extremely fast car, Cayman GTS.
Oh yeah,
super fast. I would get that probably, just because of Philly. If you told me you lived in somewhere with very smooth roads, I'd tell you different, but Philly's rough. And if you're in Philly, go to the Little Lion on 4th and Chestnut. It's like my friend Chris's restaurant. It's delicious.
I accidentally skipped this question from Jensen, and thank you for pointing it out. He's looking at either a JDM Toyota diesel Land Cruiser with triple lockers for 20 Gs, or an 05 G55 AMG for around 35. Does the JDM fun of the Land Cruiser outwork the supercharged V8 premium of the G-Wagon?
The novelty of JDM. So, is the Land Cruiser he's talking about a Land Cruiser that was never sold here? Like, JDM, I think the novelty of it, if the car is normal-ish, there's not much novelty in just driving on the right side. So, like, a Land Cruiser is a lovely thing, but it's like a fairly, like, regular SUV, right? Especially when you're just driving it around. It doesn't look super weird. There's nothing about it that really makes it stand out. Now, you could customize it, of course, but, like, it's not like, hey, I got this thing from Japan, cool. Whereas, like, a Skyline or some weird K car like an AutoZam, or like our Delica, which is very clearly not from this country, or something that really is only available from Japan. The shtick goes on for the novelty. The Delica is still a fun novelty because it's unlike anything you can get from this country. It's just totally different. So I don't know if that kind of novelty would extend to a Land Cruiser. If you already want a Land Cruiser and you don't mind driving on the right-hand side of the vehicle, you could certainly get some cool shit from Japan, and it would probably be a little cheaper than getting it from here, and maybe you get a diesel, which you couldn't get here, which is cool.
That's what he said. He said it's a 4.2 diesel, turbo diesel, only from Japan.
I mean, that's cool, but that may or may not be a novelty, and I don't know where to get parts for an engine like that.
True.
Now, you can probably get them some stuff here. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But G55, if you do an off-road build with that, that's pretty cool. I drove an off-road build G500 that I found to be quite enjoyable. Fox shocks, 35-inch tires. It was pretty rad.
They could both be excellent off-road vehicles. The G-Wagon, they're just very, very different experiences for that. Like, one is kind of fast and noisy, and the other is slow and lightly noisy. But, one it's the tortoise and the hare, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, the Toyota should last a long time, and if people keep getting interested, if the Land Cruiser interest keeps growing, now you have a JDM Land Cruiser if it's imported legally and all that shit. That could be kind of rad, and people might be into it.
35 is a lot for a G55. It's kind of a lot.
Okay.
It's not like a ton, but it's kind of a lot for like a 10-year-old, like, G-Wagon. Kind of a lot. I would try and knock it down to 31 or 32 if you can.
Okay.
It seems high for one of those.
John Walco says, what's the best way to know as much about cars as we do, but if you don't have any resources like a magazine job or an expensive car? I mean, he's on the internet.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you read a lot. You read a lot, and you go drive everything you can drive. I mean, we didn't have magazine. I was like, I want to drive a lot of things, so I got jobs that would where that would happen. I went to work for a dealership. I went to work for an exotic car rental company.
Yeah,
like
I was a valet for 3 years.
Yeah, like a lot of my experience coming into this job was from those driving cars at those other jobs. Like I was at a Porsche dealer as a summer job when they switched, right at the moment that they switched from air to water cooled. Like when the last I was there when the last air cooled 911 arrived at Town Motors and when the first water cooled one arrived there. So like I happened to be there at that moment, but like that was a thing, so go get a job where you work with cars, and then get another job where you work with some other cars, and then keep doing that
and read
and then read at the same time.
I think I would add, if instead of like reading car specs and stuff is what you'll get out of a lot of the magazines, but pay attention to the articles that talk about like the chassis changes. I think that's something that like I didn't pay as much attention to, but people that know like where this car was built in the next generation and the next generation, because that's like historical knowledge you can use going forward as context for a new car that comes out. Instead of like, I know the tire size of the 2012 obsolete edition,
And drive cars on simulators too. I mean, that's not as good, but it's a thing you can do. Add to your knowledge bank. But just, go drive shit. Whatever you can drive. Start somewhere, anywhere. Find a car, drive it. Find another one, drive that. Find another one, drive that. Repeat thousands of times. It sounds like I'm being condescending, but I'm not. That's literally the thing you do. What else, man?
That is the last one. Someone just asked, have we watched Car Trek with Ed Bolian, Freddie, and Hoovy yet? Do you know what that is? They made
not.
Like a full-length show.
They sent me the trailer. It's like YouTuber Top Gear, right?
Yep.
Did Auto Tempest give them some money? I think maybe they did.
Oh, I don't know. I know they put it on
where
Freddie's
is it?
Channel.
It's on Freddie's? He sent me the trailer, which I thought looked fun. I'll promote it. Go watch it. Where is it? What do you got there? It's on Freddie. It's on Tavarish's channel. Isn't that it? That's it, right? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we can't show this, but
yeah, this looks like it's doing very well. Yeah, go watch it. That's it, right?
Wait, what's their show called again?
I think it's called Car Trek, but I don't think it's in the video. The title of that video, because car media is weird like that. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah, that's the three of them. Oh,
yeah,
that's definitely
there
it.
is.
Okay.
That's the thing. I haven't seen it yet. I have a lot of free time later, so I'll watch it.
Okay.
But that's it? Good.
That is, we got through with the back catalog and the front catalog. What's up, Mr. Regular? How you doing?
Everybody. Oh, Mr. Regular in the house.
He is in the house.
He unfortunately, I think probably will have to cancel. He was scheduled to be on the show. I think the Roman and the Regular were going to be on the show, and I think their whole trip to LA was canceled. So we may have to, I think they have a podcast now, and I think I may do theirs over Skype, and if we really... I hate doing Skype shows for us. I prefer not to.
Yeah.
But if we get there, then we have to, and so be it. I'm reading anything else on my list that I. So should we start making food videos?
You want a new channel, or you want to put it on the thing and test it?
I don't know. I mean, I might do maybe one on our channel and test it, but like, people would really complain if they got a food video in there. God forbid they get a video in their feed that's not. Oh, speaking of which, I meant to like, it's probably too late in the show for it. I wanted to open the show with talking about how the podcasts work, because it seems people struggle with this still. that like after the live show ends, we take it down, remaster the audio, put it back up.
Right.
I think people have a problem with this.
Oh.
I think
Okay.
there's people that haven't figured out that system yet.
Okay. I mean, that
It's.
I usually leave it up for at least 4 hours, and sometimes we forget, and it's up for a week, and it gets great views.
Yeah, see, that's the problem.
Which is the problem.
That's the problem. We got to go to unlisted, I think, or something at least right away. I think it gets confusing, but there's not really a way around it.
No, I mean, I guess
the only other way is to not do live.
Yeah, I mean, for people listening, we take it down because one, we have to put ads into it so that we can keep making the show because we get paid for it, and two, we have to turn on the rev share on the videos when we republish it so that we also can fund the things and keep making the stuff. So if we just leave it up on live,
and you also remaster the audio. So
I mean,
it's
adjusted because sometimes the guests will sound quiet, Matt's voice projects more, I'm kind of in the middle, so we need to make that even. Otherwise, people will be turning their headphones up and down, and they'll turning their car up and down. And that can get really irritating because if there's one thing we know the internet hates, it's bad audio. It really is. People complain about that more than they do about racism. So we try to fix all that stuff. But that's why I apologize if you've ever been watching the video, 6 hours after it aired, and then all of a sudden it just goes ghost and goes private. And that's just because I've started processing and editing the video. But
someone's going to get cut off eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's a better method if you want to do it live. Unless we could do live on Twitch, but then we have to like make people go over to Twitch.
Yeah,
which is hard.
We could do that. I think we'd run into the same because we still always are going to have to republish the show. As long as we have ads, we have to republish the show because we have to add those in.
Yeah,
because sometimes we record the show 2 weeks before it's going to air.
Yeah,
and then you get the ads, and sometimes we do it the night before. So it varies a lot.
That's a good point. And we don't want to make any, if we have guests, sit them through ads. But anyway, we should probably talk about that at the top of the show because I feel like the people who are complaining about this probably aren't listening all the way to the end.
We'll do it next time, absolutely.
Did I see one last question come in before we get out of here? That green box? Yeah, what do you got?
Question for the wifer. She needs to replace her base Macan next year. Volvo V60 versus Audi wagon versus used 3 Series wagon versus Mercedes E-Class wagon. Philly suburbs again. Ooh. Same guy.
I mean, I had to be honest. I haven't been in the newest A4. The last A4 I was in was probably a 17. The last E-Class I was in was an AMG, and it was an 18.
I haven't been in
used
any
3 Series. Why is there a used 3? Oh, do they not have a new wagon? I think that's why, because there isn't a brand new wagon.
Probably, but
I liked Vinny's 3 Series wagon, but I didn't love it. It was fine. The problem is when you get a lot of these cars, like, it's not that they're the same. It's like if you're just cruising around in them, there's not a whole lot that makes them like stand out. Like, for instance. I think Volvo's multimedia system is very nice. Like, oh my God, I don't know. I've never driven any of the cars that this person is asking about, unfortunately, except the Volvo. And even if, I just don't have an answer. I'm sorry. The Audi's digital gauge cluster is really nice. I'm a fan of that. I think they do a good job with an interior. Mercedes has very comfortable seats. They always do. The E-Class does.
I think the Volvo ride's really nice. Like, Vinny's car was a very nice car, but I think
before he ruined it, but it
was riding a little bit stiff compared to the V60.
V60s. I've only driven the Polestar one. I've not driven. I don't know what the regular one rides like. I've only driven the one with like $4,000 Olin shocks on it. So, I'd love to help you, but like, I just don't know. I thought the design of the Volvo was excellent. And you would get that no matter which trim you get. Mm-hmm. The E-Class wagon is the gold standard, as is the A4, and they're both just they're fine, middle of the road, pretty well built, nice things. But none of them is like knockers. None of them are like, wow, you got to see this.
Yeah.
The Volvo is probably the most like that. You're like, oh, this is different. This is something kind of exciting. That's what my wife liked about her Volvo wagon, is that it wasn't an E-Class, or she liked it being a little different and a little funky and quirky and weird. And so.
Yeah. Especially here in this town, Audi and BMWs are a dime a dozen. They really are.
It's just
But Volvos
everyone
are
who
pretty rare.
graduates college gets gets a white A4 Sportback.
That's so true.
You know what I mean? Here's your congratulations, Chelsea. Here's your degree from UCLA and your leased A4. You know, that's the thing. I'm sorry I don't have more on-hand experience, but that's the closest I got for you. Well, that's our show for today. Quarantine continues, but we have more cars to drive. It's going to be fast SUV, and then that'll be a thing. We got some fast stuff coming. There's, in theory, a Saleen Mustang coming.
Oh,
800 horsepower.
oh my God!
In theory, we'll see what happens there, and hopefully we can keep the entertainment flowing. But for now, that's the Smoking Tire Podcast. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. I don't know if anyone's really fucking with Facebook anymore. It seems like we have figured out that if you post a photo on Facebook and then the link in the comments, as opposed to just posting the link, that sort of tricks the algorithm and more people see it. So that's why we're doing that. So if all of a sudden if you see something we're posting on Facebook, if you're using Facebook and you're like, oh, they're talking about this podcast, where's the link? Look in the comments. It's the first comment. That's how we post the link in the comments. So that's how that works. Anyway, follow us in the places. The Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. All you need is a microphone, a connection to the internet, and ideally something to say. We will see you all very soon. Good night.